into noise. In feudal Japan, nobody was born clean. You were born into mud, smoke, shouting, and rules you didn't agree to. The kid who would later be whispered about in war camps didn't come into the world with destiny glowing around him. He came in screaming, while rain hammered a broken roof, and his mother bit down on cloth so she wouldn't scare the neighbors. They named him Rin, no drums. No ceremony, just a name tossed into a world that chewed people up for breakfast. Outside, the province was tense. Clans were beefing. Borders were lines drawn in blood, not ink. Farmers carried knives. Samurai carried grudges. Everyone knew a war was coming. It was just a matter of who blinked first. Rin grew up hearing steel before he understood words. Chapter 2, Rules Before Feelings. By the time Rin could walk, he knew one thing. Nobody cared how you felt. His father was a low-ranking samurai retainer, not some legendary warrior, not a hero. That was the job. No glam. No speeches. Training started early. Pain started earlier. If Rin cried, his father didn't yell. He didn't comfort either. He just waited. Silence hit harder than fists. In that world, emotions were liabilities. Show too much heart, and someone would use it to cut you open. Honor wasn't some poetic idea. It was a leash. And everybody was tied to it. Chapter 3. The First Blade. Rin was 7 when he touched a real sword for the first time. It wasn't sharp, still scared the hell out of him. The blade felt heavier than it looked, like it carried the weight of every idiot who died holding one before. His father corrected his grip without saying a word. One wrong move and your wrist was done. One bad habit and you were dead later. No cheering, no praise. Just repetition. Swing, reset. Breathe again. That's how feudal Japan taught kids. No motivation talk, just grind. You didn't train to be great. You trained to survive 5 seconds longer than the other guy. Chapter 4. Blood is a lesson. The first time Rin saw a man die, nobody explained it. 2 samurai argued over land boundaries. Voices got louder, hands moved closer to hilts. Then it was over. One clean strike. The loser dropped like a sack of rice. No screaming, no drama. People bowed, blood soaked into dirt. Life kept moving. Rin threw up later behind a shed. Nobody noticed. Nobody cared. That was the lesson. Death wasn't special. It was common. If you couldn't handle seeing it, you wouldn't last long enough to fear it again. Chapter 5. Discipline over talent. Rin wasn't a prodigy. That mattered less than you'd think. Feudal Japan didn't worship talent. It worshipped discipline. You could be average but consistent and still make it. Flashy fighters died young. The quiet ones survived. Rin trained in the mornings, evenings, whenever work allowed. His hands blistered. His legs burned. His back stayed sore. Other kids talked about glory. Rin talked less and practiced more. He learned fast that ego was expensive, and he couldn't afford it. Chapter 6. The Clan Game. Samurai life wasn't just about fighting. It was politics with swords. Clans made alliances, then broke them. Then pretended they never existed. Loyalty was preached non-stop, but everyone knew it came second to power. Rin watched messengers ride in and out, carrying promises they didn't believe in. He listened to adults whisper about betrayals like they were weather reports. Storm coming. Move accordingly. That mindset stuck with him. Chapter 7. When training gets real. At 13, training stopped being practice and started being pressure. Wooden swords got swapped for steel. Armor got heavier, orders got sharper. Mistakes weren't corrected gently anymore. One night, Rin sparred against an older trainee. He lost badly. Hit the dirt. Breath knocked out of him. The instructor didn't help him up. He waited. Rin stood on shaking legs because that's what warriors did. Not because they were strong, but because staying down wasn't an option. Chapter 8. Fear isn't weakness. Rin was scared a lot. Anyone who says samurai didn't feel fear is lying or selling poetry. Fear was everywhere. Before fights, during silence, in dreams. The trick wasn't killing fear, it was moving while scared. That lesson saved lives. Chapter 9, First Order. The order came on a cold morning. Not war, not yet. Just escort duty, protect a messenger. Simple job, they said. Safe job, they said. Rin strapped on armor that felt too big and a sword that felt too honest. His father adjusted his shoulder strap, hands steady as stone. No goodbye speech, just a nod. That nod meant everything. Chapter 10. Stepping Out of Childhood. As Rin walked away from the compound, something snapped quietly behind him. Not loud, not dramatic. Childhood. He didn't know it yet, but every step forward was pulling him toward a version of himself he couldn't undo. Steel had rules, power had rules, and mercy. Mercy was rare. Chapter 11. The road isn't quiet. Escort duty sounded soft until Rin learned the truth. Roads were where people died quietly. Trees leaned in like they were listening. Wind moved grass just enough to hide footsteps. Every shadow felt like it had an opinion. The messenger rode ahead, calm but tense, hands tight on the reins. He didn't talk much. Guys like him never did. Talking meant relaxing, and relaxing got you killed. Rin kept his hand near his sword, not gripping it, just close enough to move fast. Fear sat in his chest like unpaid rent. Chapter 12. The ambush nobody announces. It didn't start with shouting. That was the first mistake rookies expected. A bird took off suddenly. Then another. Steel flashed. A scream hit the air too late to matter. Bandits, or worse, hired blades, came out of the trees like they'd always been there. One went straight for the messenger. Clean move, professional. Rin reacted before thinking. His sword came out sloppy but fast. He blocked a strike meant for the horse. Metal rang. His arms screamed. This wasn't training. This was somebody trying to end him. Chapter 13. The first kill. Styx, Rin's first kill, wasn't heroic. It was messy. The attacker slipped on wet dirt. Rin didn't hesitate. He drove the blade forward, felt resistance, felt warmth. The man gasped, not dramatic, just surprised, and collapsed. Rin froze for half a second too long. Blood pooled, steam rose, everything went quiet inside his head. Then another attacker rushed him, and instinct took over. That first body stayed in his vision longer than the rest. Chapter 14. Aftermath isn't clean. They survived. Barely. The messenger lived. 2 attackers escaped. 3 didn't. Rin's hands shook when it was over. He wiped his blade the way he'd been taught, but the red wouldn't leave his mind. Nobody congratulated him. The senior samurai just said, "You didn't freeze." That matters. That was it. That night, Rin didn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, the man's face replayed. Not angry, not hateful, just shocked. Killing didn't feel powerful. It felt permanent. Chapter 15. Word travels faster than truth. Back at the compound, rumors spread before facts. Some said Rin saved the messenger. Some said he hesitated. Some said nothing at all. Truth didn't matter much in feudal Japan. Reputation did. Rin noticed how people looked at him differently. Not respect, not fear. Calculation. People start measuring you once you've spilled blood. Chapter 16. The politics get loud. The ambush wasn't random. That much became obvious fast. The clan elders argued behind closed doors. Names were whispered. Allies questioned. Old promises dug up like corpses that wouldn't stay buried. Someone had paid for that attack, and that meant war was closer than anyone admitted. Rin listened from corners, learned fast. The sword wasn't always the sharpest weapon. Sometimes it was information. Sometimes it was silence. Chapter 17. A Father's Warning. Rin's father finally spoke more than 5 words in one sitting. "You killed a man," he said, calm as rain. "That means 2 things. You can't go back, and people will test you." Rin nodded. "Don't chase honor," his father continued. Honor gets men killed, chase clarity. That advice burned into Rin deeper than any scar. Chapter 18. The Test Fight. A senior retainer challenged Rin during drills. Not officially, not openly hostile, just pressure disguised as tradition. They circled. Steel met steel. Rin's arms screamed again, but he stayed loose, remembered the ambush, remembered fear. He didn't win, but he didn't break either. That earned him something better than praise. Space. Chapter 19. When loyalty cracks. One night, Rin overheard two officers arguing. One wanted to switch sides, said the clan was sinking, said survival mattered more than tradition. The other listened too long. Rin walked away before they noticed him. In feudal Japan, overhearing the wrong thing could be a death sentence. Knowing when to disappear was a skill nobody taught, but everybody needed. Chapter 20. Steel changes. Rin cleaned his sword alone that night. He noticed his hands didn't shake anymore. That scared him more than the ambush ever did. Steel didn't just cut enemies. It reshaped the person holding it. And Rin could feel himself changing. Slower to react emotionally, faster to move physically, quieter inside. The edge wasn't bending, it was hardening. Chapter 21. When war stops, whispering. War didn't arrive with ceremony. One morning the gates opened and men didn't come back. Scouts returned breathing hard, eyes sharp, voices low. Enemy banners had been spotted. Old allies were suddenly neutral, and neutral clans were suddenly hungry. That was how it always went. Feudal Japan didn't wait for permission to start bleeding. Rin tightened his armor straps with hands that didn't shake anymore. That bothered him, but he ignored it. There was no space left for doubt. When war shows up, you either step forward or get erased. Chapter 22. The first real battle. The battlefield wasn't glorious. It was chaos layered on noise, steel clashing, men screaming, horses panicking, orders getting lost mid-air. Everything smelled like iron and fear. Rin fought like he'd trained, with tight movements and no wasted energy. He didn't chase kills, he ended threats. That mindset kept him alive while louder men went down fast. He stepped over bodies without looking down. And later, he would realize that was the exact moment something human peeled off him and stayed on that field. Chapter 23. Death finds family. Rin saw his father fall halfway through the fight. There was no dramatic pause and no last words. Just one clean strike that ended everything. Rin felt it like a punch to the chest, but he didn't scream, didn't rush, and didn't break formation. He killed the man responsible 3 breaths later, not for revenge, but for efficiency. That fact haunted him long after the battle ended. Chapter 24. Victory costs. More than defeat, they won. Barely. The field belonged to them. But the price was ugly. Too many bodies and too many names crossed off future plans. Rin knelt beside his father's body when it was over and bowed low. No tears came, not yet. In feudal Japan, grief was private because public weakness got noticed and used. Rin stood up a different man. Not stronger, just emptier. Chapter 25. The betrayal breaks open. The truth came out fast after the battle. One of their own officers had fed information to the enemy, promised safety, rank, and survival. He got none of it. Rin was ordered to stand guard during the execution as the traitor cried, begged, and spoke about family and fear. Rin didn't look away. Fear didn't excuse betrayal. Everyone was afraid, and that wasn't special. Chapter 26. Choosing survival. With leadership fractured, the clan began to rot. Orders conflicted, allies drifted, and another attack was coming. Everyone knew it. Rin made a decision that night. He didn't abandon honor. He redefined it. He gathered his gear quietly and left before dawn, with no speeches and no dramatic exit. Just a warrior choosing to live rather than die for politics he didn't control. That choice followed him longer than any enemy ever would. Chapter 27. A blade for hire. Rin became what feudal Japan always produced in times like this. A Ronin. No banner, no protection, just skill and a reputation slowly built from job to job. He fought for pay, for food, and for survival. People started talking about a quiet swordsman who didn't boast, who finished fights fast, and who never stayed long. The names changed depending on who told the story, and Rin never corrected them. Chapter 28. The meaning of the edge years passed. Scars stacked up, and so did experience. Rin learned that bending didn't always mean breaking. Sometimes it meant adapting without losing your core. He fought fewer battles, but chose them carefully as power shifted and clans rose and fell like bad investments. Rin stayed standing. Chapter 29. Legacy without monuments. Rin never became famous. There were no statues and no songs. But men who survived battles remembered him and spoke his name quietly, the way you did with dangerous things. In feudal Japan, that was enough. Legacy wasn't about being remembered by everyone. It was about being remembered by the right people. Chapter 30. The edge that never bent in the end. Rin understood something simple. Steel didn't care about honor. War didn't care about loyalty. History didn't care about fairness. All that mattered was whether you broke or adapted. Rin didn't bend for lies, didn't shatter for pride, and didn't disappear when things got ugly. He endured, and in a world designed to crush men, that made him dangerous. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, and comment.